Testing, testing, testing. Blah, 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 blah.
Ready, set, go.
It's time for the Coach Amy and Coach Liz show.
A podcast for endurance athletes by two athletes, two coaches, and a physical therapist.
We are your hosts, Coach Amy
And Coach Liz.
coming to you from
Kansas City.
Okay, what are we talking about? What are we talking about today, Liz? You had a question.
I did, because at some point you had talked about, in a podcast we'd done previously, you had skirted through this comment you made as if it was just like no big deal, and I was like, I put a pin in that and I've been festering on it for months, so we're going back to it. We're talking about running, and you know, everybody is always obsessed with where you should land. Like, don't be a heel striker, land on your midfoot, do all like where your foot should land when it hits the ground. And you made a comment about how it's not where your foot is hitting the ground, but where it's landing in relation to your body. So is it landing, is your foot coming down like in front of you? Is it behind you? Is it under your center line? And that's what really matters, not so much exactly like if you're a heel striker or midfoot striker. So I wanted you to explain that, please.
Yes. Okay, so a lot of patients will come in and we're evaluating their run form, and they'll say, I've been working on changing I'm running on my toes now. Or I used to be a heel striker, but I know that's bad. And oh my gosh, I just love being able to let them off the hook, because how you foot strike, whether you are hitting the ground with your heel, that's just the middle kind of flat footed, or on the ball of your foot, which we refer to as the forefoot, it really doesn't matter. There are some instances where one might be a little bit helpful for some people, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But for the most part, the most important thing is that it's landing underneath what we call your base of support, so your pelvis. So I would encourage you guys, if you go back and look at any of the Olympic footage, you can slow them down. Whether sprinter, long distance, especially look at the long distance people, just because, that's our world here. Mm-hmm. We're not doing 100-meter dash. It can look like they're stretching their legs out a lot further in front of them than they are. They're just so quick. Their turnover. When we're talking about long distance running, the marathoners in the Olympics are, it's a 5-minute mile or even faster. Yeah. I can't sprint that fast. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to do And so you have to slow it down. But when you slow it down, you will notice that when their foot is actually striking the ground, it is and should be underneath their pelvis, not out in front. So as long as it's underneath, that's where our run economy is going to be, that's where we're going to be efficient and powerful, it doesn't matter. Heel, midfoot, or forefoot. When we get into trouble with a heel strike is when we reach out in front of us too far. So when we're landing with our leg out too far in front of us, outside of our base of support, not only does it kind of break and slow you down, affecting run economy, but it also increases the forces at the knee and hip. So you're injuring mm-hmm. yourself potentially. Mm-hmm. Now, there is some research out there. There are some books written about sort of that chi running sort of phase. And I caution you, if you're landing underneath your base of support and your natural way to run is midfoot or heel strike, then go for it. That's fine. Don't try to go correct it because you think the chi running form is going to make you faster or better. However, I would have to say that some athletes that I have with knee pain or recurring chronic knee pain, especially when I can attribute it to some joint actual issues in the joint versus like patellar tendon, but even in that case, sometimes adjusting to a little bit more of a forefoot strike underneath the base of support can be helpful. And there's a whole like physics and mechanics thing about that. And that's something that I do very carefully. We see, of course, we're going to address all the other issues, the inflammation, the strength issues, the mobility issues, the training errors, all of those things that have to do with the knee pain. We're going to address those as well. We're not going to just say, never mind, run on your forefoot, you're good to go, see you later. But it is something that we do tweak with and try to see, hey, does this help you? Because if it does, over time, gradually taking on that new form might be helpful for those folks. Yeah.
I think that's right.
So,
it's very interesting.
Yeah.
And it also seems to me that if you are landing underneath the base of your support, that allows you to engage your glutes in a different way than if you're trying to like overstride and land and how you land. Or maybe we just take that part out and that's not a good question.
It is a really good question.
Well, because I'm thinking about, it's like hard when you're you're trying to land out in front of you, like your glute engages in a different way than if you're driving the leg down.
It actually, so your hamstring and your glute will be a lot longer if you reach out in front of you. Yeah. And, if you think about it, when you want to get a lot of energy and strength from something, you do want to stretch out that rubber band pretty far to get the most load or spring from it. But it actually doesn't work very well with that because
if you're bringing it down in front of you instead of driving it straight down, it's like the angle is different. It's not as powerful. Yeah.
You have a lot of time. First of all, you've slowed yourself down and caused it to break.
Yeah.
So that's the main issue with that not being the right thing. And when it comes to a run form, the forces that you are generating, I like to talk about. As soon as that foot hits the ground, you are pushing the ground away behind you, and that is the direction of your push. So yes, it does.
And pushing it away versus if your foot's landing in front of you, it's like first you have to pull yourself forward and then you push yourself away.
Yes, it's not economical at all. Yeah, not economical at all. And causes. We talked about. If you're reaching out too far in front of you with your run form, we could be causing that braking sensation and also, knee and hip joint added forces, but you're also over lengthening and straining the glutes and hamstrings. And that's another area of problems that we'll see in high hamstring tendinosis kind of thing, hamstring strain type thing. And we'll see that with, sometimes I'll see patients with those issues who are overstriding.
Yeah.
And reaching out in front instead of landing underneath the base of support. So there you go. Did we cover it?
We did.
Thanks so much for listening. And remember,
we are in this together. Until next time.